They told us aging is natural, that weakness, pain, forgetfulness, sleepless nights, mood swings, sudden weight gain, and chronic fatigue are all part of growing old. But what if I told you it's not your age that's the enemy, but something far more dangerous hiding in your daily routine? Something you do every single day after turning 50 that your body starts rejecting, but no one warns you about because the industry behind it earns billions while your health quietly crumbles. At first, it seems harmless, even comforting, something we associate with relaxation, reward, even tradition. But inside your body, it sparks a slow-burning fire. Inflammation, artery damage, blood sugar spikes, brain fog, muscle loss. Doctors have seen it but rarely explain it clearly, and pharmaceutical companies have no incentive to speak up because every ounce of damage caused by this secret habit leads to more pills, more prescriptions, more dependency. What is this thing? What if I told you it starts with a simple decision, something like watching TV after dinner while munching on your favorite snacks, or pouring that one drink to wind down, or simply staying up late scrolling through your phone while your body begs you for rest? It's not just one action. It's a perfect storm of habits that seem relaxing, but are actually killing you slowly after 50. Your liver can no longer process alcohol like it used to. Your pancreas can't manage insulin surges from sugar-loaded snacks at night. Your heart doesn't recover from daily stress if you're not sleeping by 10 p.m. Your brain cells, which need deep sleep for memory storage, are instead being bombarded by blue light from screens and caffeine circulating in your blood from your late-night tea or coffee. And yet, no one connects these dots. You wake up groggy and assume it's your age. You feel back pain and think it's just old bones. You forget names and blame it on getting older. But it's not your age. It's what you're doing every single evening that's sabotaging your second half of life. Nutritionists now call this stage of life the silent shift, where every decision after sunset matters 10 times more than it did in your 30s. And if you don't change course, you end up accelerating aging instead of fighting it. There was a recent study involving over 5,000 individuals aged 50 to 70 across 5 countries, and researchers found that those who followed just 3 specific night habits were 72% more likely to suffer from cardiovascular diseases, 58% more likely to develop cognitive decline, and 44% more likely to report bone density loss within just 3 years. That's not aging. That's self-inflicted deterioration. You may think it's just one soda, one bowl of processed food, one episode before bed, one late-night WhatsApp chat, but these actions are draining your cells, disrupting your melatonin, slowing your metabolism, and triggering hormonal chaos. It gets worse. Your gut health, which controls 70% of your immune system, collapses under this pressure. You start getting strange infections, skin problems, unexplained bloating, constipation, or acid reflux. You go to the doctor and leave with a handful of tablets, never realizing that the real issue isn't what you're missing, but what you keep doing wrong. Now imagine doing this for 5 years straight, staying up late, eating refined carbs at night, skipping deep sleep, drinking even 1 glass of alcohol daily, scrolling social media till 1 a.m., and suddenly you're 55 but feel 75. That's not life. That's a slow surrender. You weren't designed to decline this way. Your body was made to thrive, even at 60, if only you'd respect its new limits. But no one tells you when those limits change. No one gives you a manual for post-50 life. They sell you anti-aging creams and vitamins while ignoring the root cause. The TV tells you to stay active, but never explains how your nighttime routine is silently destroying your mitochondria, the energy engines in every cell. Every evening, you're either repairing your body or ruining it. There's no in-between. So now the question is, are you ready to break this cycle? Are you ready to discover what truly matters in your evening life? Because in the next part, I'll reveal the 3 most dangerous evening habits after 50 that science now confirms as aging accelerators, and I'll share what people across the world are doing instead to reverse the damage, rebuild their health, and feel younger in just 30 days without a single pill or painful treatment. But you must understand, this is not about a quick fix. It's about waking up to the truth before it's too late, before your body gives up completely, before your grandchildren see you as just someone who got old early, when in reality, you were misled, misinformed, and manipulated into trading your vibrant years for convenience, comfort, and corporate lies. You made it to this point, which means a part of you already knows something isn't right. That the story you were sold about aging gracefully was incomplete, manipulated, or worse, designed to keep you dependent and confused, always reaching for pills instead of answers, blaming your own body instead of questioning the invisible lifestyle chains that were slowly wrapped around you year after year. And now it's time to finally uncover the truth behind the 3 most dangerous evening habits that almost every person over 50 is doing without realizing the cost they are paying in energy, memory, heart health, joint strength, sleep quality, and even emotional stability. And the first of these habits is deceptively simple. Eating late at night, especially processed foods or sugar-laden snacks after 8 p.m. Because what used to be a harmless pleasure becomes a biological trap after 50, as your insulin sensitivity drops drastically, meaning your blood sugar remains elevated for hours, which then disrupts melatonin production, the very hormone your brain uses to signal deep sleep cycles. So what feels like innocent snacking is actually a direct attack on your sleep, your weight, and your brain health. And the second habit is equally destructive. Staying under artificial light after 10 p.m., especially from LED screens like phones, TVs, and tablets, which emit blue light that confuses your circadian rhythm, tricking your brain into thinking it's daytime, which delays the production of melatonin, interferes with REM sleep, and leaves you in a chronic state of mental fatigue the next day. But the worst part is that the long-term effect is cumulative. Every night you do this, you reduce your brain's ability to detox, increasing the risk of Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. And the third habit might shock you the most: drinking even a small amount of alcohol in the evening, which many people see as a way to relax. But after 50, your liver becomes slower, your blood becomes more sensitive to toxins, and even a glass of wine can impair deep sleep, trigger dehydration, and cause hormonal imbalance, especially for women in post-menopause or men with declining testosterone. And this isn't speculation. This is backed by thousands of clinical data points across hospitals worldwide, where doctors quietly observe the same patterns but rarely educate their patients because lifestyle change doesn't make anyone rich, prescriptions do, and this silence is costing people their vitality, their peace of mind, their independence, and slowly, their life. But now, imagine this. What if you just stopped doing these 3 things for 30 days? No food after 8 p.m., no screens after 10 p.m., no alcohol after dinner. Do you think it would really make a difference? You'd be shocked how quickly your body starts healing, how your energy returns, how your digestion improves, how your brain fog lifts, and your mood stabilizes, not because of some expensive supplement, but because you finally removed the source of the poison, and thousands of people have done it. Retired couples, single grandparents, people living in small towns or big cities who all thought they were just getting old until they experienced what it feels like to truly support your body after 50, and some of them reversed high blood pressure without medication. Others lost 15 pounds without dieting. Many reported waking up without back pain for the first time in years. And the most common feedback was this: I didn't know I could feel this good again, because society had convinced them to expect decline instead of vitality, to accept pain instead of healing, to live quiet lives of fatigue, forgetting that your body still regenerates, your brain still rewires, your cells still respond to care, but only if you stop damaging them every night. And here's the real kicker. If you change just these 3 evening habits, you trigger a domino effect. Better sleep leads to better hormones, which lead to better metabolism, which leads to better energy, which leads to better choices during the day, and suddenly your entire life trajectory starts improving, all without a single pill. doctor visit, or surgery, and it begins with awareness, with the decision to no longer ignore what your body has been trying to tell you through headaches, bloating, stiffness, anxiety, or forgetfulness, all of which are symptoms, not the cause. And as we move into the next part of this story, I'll share what the food industry never wants you to hear. The real reason why sugar, refined carbs, and processed foods are marketed more aggressively to people over 50, how they're designed to create dependency, trigger cravings, and even affect brain chemistry to keep you hooked, and most dangerously, how these foods not only age your organs from the inside, but also create the illusion of comfort while robbing your cells of life itself. And once you see how deep this manipulation goes, you'll never look at your grocery cart the same now. They never wanted you to know that the very foods you see every day in advertisements, lining supermarket shelves, and even being recommended in so-called healthy diets are not designed to nourish you, but to slowly addict and destroy your post-50 body from the inside out. And once you understand how deeply the food industry has manipulated science, packaging, and even government guidelines, you'll realize that what's killing people after 50 isn't aging or genetics. It's consumption by design, because these foods aren't just high in sugar or carbs or sodium, they're specifically engineered in laboratories to hijack your brain's pleasure centers, triggering dopamine responses that mimic the effects of drug addiction, making your body crave more even when it's full, tired, or sick. And the worst part is that the older you get, the more vulnerable you become to this manipulation, because your metabolism slows, your insulin response weakens, your digestive enzymes decrease, and yet the foods targeting your age group, quick oatmeal sachets, low-fat cookies, sugary yogurt cups, instant soups, frozen healthy meals, are often the most toxic, filled with preservatives, inflammatory oils, and synthetic sweeteners that not only disrupt your gut microbiome, but also damage your liver, cloud your memory, and inflame your joints. And it's no accident that this happens, because behind every sugar-free label, there's often a chemical sweetener like aspartame or sucralose, which studies have linked to increased risk of stroke, metabolic disorders, and even depression, especially in older adults. Yet these products are marketed as safe, doctor-recommended, or heart-healthy, preying on your trust. And the industry knows you'll keep buying them because they've studied your habits, your fears, your cravings. They know that when you're tired after work, or weak after illness, or anxious about weight gain, you'll reach for something that says healthy on the front and not bother reading the fine print on the back, where the real story lies in chemical names you can't pronounce and sugar substitutes hidden behind innocent words like natural flavors. And every bite you take doesn't just harm your waistline, it's aging you from the inside, causing glycation in your blood vessels, oxidative stress in your cells, and hormonal chaos in your glands. And still, you blame yourself for being tired, for not exercising enough, for getting old, when in reality, your food is poisoning you slowly and systematically. And the most terrifying part? Most doctors don't even know the full extent, because their training doesn't focus on nutrition but on treatment. And by the time they see your blood work crashing, or your bones thinning, or your kidneys slowing down, they prescribe you pills instead of asking you what's in your pantry. But there's a reason for that too. The pharmaceutical and food industries are deeply connected, often owned by the same parent companies, which means they profit whether you eat the problem or buy the solution. And unless you wake up to this cycle, you will stay trapped, overweight, overmedicated, underenergized, and utterly confused as to why your health keeps declining even when you try to eat right. But now, here's the revelation you need to hear. Everything changes the moment you stop trusting packaging and start trusting your body again. When you stop buying low-fat processed foods and start embracing whole, unprocessed, anti-inflammatory ingredients like turmeric, ginger, garlic, leafy greens, soaked nuts, and clean proteins. When you realize that food is not entertainment or convenience, but information. Fuel that either turns your genes on or off, heals or harms. And once you reset your body with even a few days of clean, real eating, you'll feel the shift instantly. Your energy lifts, your digestion flows, your mind sharpens, your sleep deepens, and your emotional resilience returns because your body was never broken. It was just being attacked every day by fake food, and now that you know the truth, you hold the power to change the second half of your life into your strongest, wisest, and most vibrant years. Not by following fads, but by breaking free from the lies you've been fed for decades. And in the final part of this story, we'll go even deeper. Not just what to avoid, but exactly how to build a post-50 lifestyle that reverses aging, renews cellular health, and restores your confidence and vitality using simple daily routines and ancient wisdom backed by modern science, because your best years didn't pass you. They're waiting for you to claim them, now that you know the truth. The only question left is what you're going to do with it, because awareness alone doesn't heal the body, action does. And no matter how much damage has already been done, whether you're 52 or 72, whether you've been on medication for a decade or just started feeling tired this year, your body still holds the blueprint to repair, to regenerate, to fight back, not through miracle drugs or expensive gadgets, but through the simple, consistent daily choices that modern life has trained you to ignore. And this is where the real journey begins. Because reversing aging after 50 isn't about going back in time. It's about unlocking the version of you that was always meant to thrive in these years, the wiser, calmer, sharper, stronger you, and it all starts with building a lifestyle that removes the poisons and restores the patterns your body evolved for over thousands of years. So let's get real. What does that actually look like? First, you begin your day with silence. Not with screens, not with news, not with chaos, but with 10 minutes of stillness, where your breath slows, your cortisol lowers, and your nervous system finally gets the signal that you're safe, that your life is not an emergency, and this one shift alone has been shown to reduce blood pressure and stabilize mood in older adults faster than most antidepressants. Then comes hydration. Real water, room temperature, with a pinch of sea salt or a slice of lemon to gently wake your cells and signal your digestive system to prepare. And then, you move. Not with punishing workouts, but with intentional mobility. Maybe a 15-minute walk, some joint rotations, or just gentle stretching with deep breathing. Because your lymphatic system only works when you move, and if you sit all day, you're essentially allowing toxins to accumulate silently in your body. Next comes food, not measured by calories but by life. Foods that are close to the earth, seasonal, colorful, grown not in factories but in soil. Soaked walnuts instead of packaged cereal, cooked vegetables with ghee instead of processed breakfast bars, herbal teas instead of sugary juices. And when you eat like this, slowly, mindfully, thankfully, your digestion becomes sacred. Your gut flora recalibrates, your immunity strengthens, and you begin to feel something rare, peace from the inside out. Throughout the day, you keep your phone at a distance when it's not needed. You schedule screen-free hours, you take sunlight breaks to balance your circadian rhythm, and you protect your energy like it's currency, because it is. And in the evening, you lower the lights. You eat your last meal before sunset if possible. You take a short walk to aid digestion, and most importantly, you disconnect from artificial stimulation. No late-night crime shows, no doom scrolling, no sugar or wine or late tea, because your body is preparing for deep restoration. And if you give it darkness, stillness, and safety, it will give you miracles in return. Better sleep, hormonal balance, deep cell repair, and even the activation of genes responsible for longevity. And no, this isn't idealistic or extreme. Thousands of people in their 50s, 60s, even 80s have transformed their lives with these exact principles, not overnight, but steadily, and not for six-pack abs or Instagram likes, but to walk pain-free, to remember names, to play with grandkids, to travel, to feel alive again. And the most profound result? Confidence. The kind that comes not from appearance, but from energy, stability, clarity, and the knowledge that you are no longer a victim of your own lifestyle. Now you might wonder, will this really work for me? After all, your body might feel broken, your routine might be messy, and your willpower might feel weak. But the truth is, your body is waiting for a chance, not perfection. Just a chance to show you what it can still do when you stop hurting it every day and start listening instead. And here's something even deeper. This journey isn't just physical, it's emotional, even spiritual. Because when you restore your energy, you begin to dream again, to connect again, to feel again. And in that space, healing becomes inevitable because the real anti-aging secret is presence, being awake to your own life, not numb, not distracted, not defeated. And if you've made it through this entire story, then you're already on the path, because most people won't even question their habits, let alone confront them. But you did. And now the power is yours to rise into the second half of life, not as a victim of age, but as a master of renewal. And if you begin today, just one change, one shift, one better choice, you'll see in just a few weeks that aging was never the problem. It was the wake-up call you needed to finally live the life you were too distracted to live before. And now, you are ready.